And that's probably a great place to start. Short sales, traditionally, just percentage-wise, not a huge sector of the market. How did you get involved in such a specific niche? How did you get involved in the first place, and how have you exploded a business around something that's such a small percentage of the market?
Well, I started when it was all foreclosures. So I started in 2009, and I actually fell into real estate. So, I mean, I know some people are passionate about everything. I'm like, no, I mean, I became passionate about it, but it was an accident. It was just, I moved from Florida. I wasn't here originally, and I was assisting the broker who, at the time, was one of the biggest REO brokers in DFW. And I hated that job. Like, it was the worst job I ever had. And we were working for the banks. So I was managing 100 to 150 foreclosures a month. And so I really started understanding how it worked, right? With the asset managers, understanding how the banks worked and operated. And then when I decided, I was like, this is not for me, because I was in charge of everything, the evictions, the BPOs that we were managing. And it was really tough because we were getting calls, people on the street. I mean, it was horrible. And so it's actually full circle because I'm at KW now, and I got licensed and I saw this big building that we're in now in Preston Road. And I was like, oh, a real estate office. I got my license, like complete ignorance. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. And so I just knew that I had all this knowledge. I didn't want to work for the banks. Didn't have no idea what a short sale was. And worked with a couple buyers. My first listing was a short sale.
Okay.
So I remember at the time, the agents were like, don't even mess with it. Like, it's not going to close. It's not worth your time.
Right.
And all I knew was I've always been solution oriented, like trying to figure out, okay, well, there's got to be a way to do this. And so I figured it out. And I mean, I don't know if I really figured it out. I got it closed, but but I was so intrigued. I was like, okay, no one really understands. Yeah. He needs help. I know it's going to happen after he gets foreclosed on, but I didn't understand. So anyways, so long story short, I decided to really market for that. Really spent a lot of time that first year developing the process that I do now. And I don't think that I really became the quote unquote expert until years later. Yeah. I mean, really, because I spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions later of just learning like, oh, okay, this worked, or no, this didn't work, or I can do this, or whatever. So, and then I honestly, consistency, like with anything else, just sticking to the same thing. I mean, I get calls still to this day, like full circle in 2009, like, oh, I met you at this class or whatever, and you're still doing it. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, right? Like knowing that, oh, wow, she's still doing short sales. And so it's just building that reputation.